One of prosecutor Jack Smith's central charges against Donald Trump is that he made, quote, knowingly false claims that led to what he describes as a violent attack in the Capitol. Now, by repeating the term knowingly false over and over, and that term is all through the document over and over again, knowingly false claims, Smith puts Trump's state of mind front and center in the indictment. That he knows it's important to show how he'll prove Trump knowingly lied is borne out in the decision to put this section high up in the document. And you can see this is called the defendant's knowledge of the falsity of his election fraud claims. Now, for me, I would expect evidence of knowingly false to be something like an email to Rudy Giuliani saying, hey, I know this is bullshit, but let's try it anyway. Or maybe testimony from one of the Confederates saying, yes, Trump knew all along he'd lost, but he just did all these things anyway. But that's not what Smith leads with. Instead, he goes with this paragraph, and it's very, very specific and very unusual. He says that Trump was notified repeatedly by people who were, quote, best positioned to know the facts, and then he deliberately disregarded their words. Then Smith goes on to list all these people who are, quote unquote, best positioned. They include Mike Pence, the senior leaders of the Justice Department, the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, senior White House attorneys, senior staffers on the defendant's campaign. It looks like Smith is trying to establish a new method of proving intent that doesn't involve going into the head of the defendant. Instead, he's essentially saying you were told by people best positioned to know the facts. You were told by authorities, and then you went ahead and kept saying the bad thing anyway. Therefore, you knowingly lied. You knowingly made false statements. That seems to me a very radical interpretation of intent. And it's just one of many features of this document that it seems to me would rewrite law in some very unusual ways if it were to become precedent. For more on this subject, check out the article today on Racket.News.